my heart, no, that don't make sense. He ain't even did anything. Because I ain't a friend. Hey Bookamies, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna get to my fall TBR. I won't be able to read like a whole lot this fall, but I do have like certain books I do plan to get through this fall. First up is finishing the Throne of Glass series. So you guys know I read Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. So my plans are to finish the entire series. Girl, we just gonna pray for me, right? So I have Airfire, and I went over my Throne of Glass reading order that out in my last video, but I will be starting with Airfire for my Throne of Glass reading vlog video this fall. We have Airfire. I'll be getting to that. Cool Assassin's Blade. As I mentioned in the last video, I want to have the most emotional impact, so I'm gonna read it in, I guess it's called a romantic reading order or emotional reading order. I'm not sure what it's called, but I plan on reading this next. And then I will jump into Queen of Shadows. I'm going to tackle the tandem read for Empire of Storm and Tower of Dawn. And then after that, I will let it all crash and burn with Kingdom of Ash. Listen. My plan outside of the Throne of Glass this fall. Okay, so the rest of my plan is to read Keeping 13 from the Boys of Tommen series. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm praying I get to this throne. I'm praying I get through the Throne of Glass series because, baby, right now I'm in the middle of 513. I'm not even in the middle. At this point, I'm like towards the end. Like, I am on chapter 49, pages 440 and 441. Yeah, this book ends in like 120 something pages, like 122 pages. That book is so good. I am like sucked in with the characters. I have not read a book like that. It's just like constant character development. Like, it's not a long time period, but girl, ooh, I cannot wait. And then Keeping 13 is still about Johnny and Shannon. This is the rest of their, like, I guess, book story. I'm really excited to get into this. I'm really excited to see what happens in the Binding 13. If anybody has read this or reading this, like, definitely hit me up because I need a friend. I need a friend reading this Boys of Tommen series because my emotions, Binding 13, when we get to chapter 39 up in here, bro, I had to stop. I had to pause, like, especially if you have like a brother, especially if you're like little sis, you know what I mean? Like, my heart, every time I think about chapter 39, it starts making me want to cry. It starts making me want to get mad at my brother. He ain't even did anything. That would be my other book to read, is Keeping 13. If you know, you know. I love me a good thriller. Oh my gosh. So I have downloaded so many different thrillers from different authors. So I want to get into some of those because honestly, I haven't read a good thriller in a while. The last book I read was The Housemaid series, girl, and I don't know, Frida was not hitting for me. I don't know what it was, and I never like talking bad about anybody. I feel like I'm not talking bad, but you know what I mean. I just don't like to talk about books that I didn't like or whatever. If y'all haven't noticed that, I typically only talk about books that I really loved or really enjoyed to some extent, and books that I don't typically want to sit here and just be like, oh, it's a 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's like a 1, 2 or anything like that, because I feel as though if I didn't like it, I mean, I guess like I guess I could tell you about like what I don't like and stuff, but I don't like to make it seem like I'm bashing a book, because I feel like if I don't like something, that doesn't mean that the next person won't like it. So I'm like, it just wasn't my cup of tea. I just like talking about all the books that I love, and then I get bored talking about books I don't like. For what, girl? I will tell you about books that are slow or stuff like that or whatever, but ones that I don't like, I typically never bring back up. So girls, most of the time I end up returning it. That is not good, okay? But anyway, these are some of the books that I picked out to read. I picked out 7 that I heard. Bree's book, I'll put it on the screen. I might add more and adjust some of these. I don't really know yet, but I do plan to get into some of these. They seem pretty interesting. Okay, so the first one, we can do Sometimes I Lie by Alice Finney. And these are all going to be on my Kindle. After having spent money on Frida's books and I didn't like them, the last 2 books of Housemaid series, I decided not to buy anymore thrillers for now. I did that with Riley Sager. I bought like more than one of his thrillers. I did not like House Across from the Lake. It wasn't that it was a bad story. It was actually pretty decent. It was kind of slow, but it had some paranormal vibes in there. If you're into that, you would love it. But for me, I was like, no. So I was like, I will not be buying any more thrillers. And ones that I know for a fact is probably going to be a hit for sure. Like, I have to know, or it has to be one I'm going to read within a week so I can return. I'm not going to even lie to you. Like, and I know that's not good, but I'm sorry. But, girl, no. Girl, where is the back of the book? Back of book. Back cover. Okay, here it is. Amber wakes up in a hospital. She can't move. She can't speak. She can't open her eyes. Amber doesn't remember what happened, but she has a suspicion her husband had something to do with it. Yeah, let's just say this looks pretty interesting. Okay, the next book, Don't Let Her Stay. It's basically about this man, I believe he's remarried, and his daughter wants to come back to live with him, and he thinks that she's so sweet and this and that, but in actuality, she may not be as perfect as it seems. I think the wife just basically and thinking like something is not right with her. I am excited about that because I heard that was good. I think some people, I don't know if anybody said it wasn't that great or not, but we're gonna check that one out. And then it's something called The Six. Yeah, so this was a slow burn psychological thriller. They have 6 days and 6 challenges on the path to healing. $10,000 per challenge and $60,000 on completion. So I do kind of like challenge stuff like this sometimes, and I want to see what's gonna happen. So I don't know, but the fact that it's slow burn, when I read that one was so slow. Like, y'all, I hated how slow it was. But when I tell you, it was worth it, man, because you were like, oh, type of thing. It was definitely worth it. Kind of compare this one to Silent Patient, because Silent Patient I felt like was a slow one. I did not like Silent Patient at all, and I think it might be because it was very slow and Homeboy just went on and on. But it was also interesting because of what he was dealing with in his storyline. So I don't know, like when I think back on Silent Patient, I think it does for me compare well to this one because they were both slow as they. But the twist in Silent Patient, I'm still traumatized. But it would have been a great book if I would have stopped at the twist, because after that it was just like a spiral. And I guess when I think back on it, it made sense for the character, but for me, I would have fine at the twist. Like, it was crazy. But do I think I wanted to read all of that to get there? No. Now the book over here, I definitely enjoyed reading all of that because it was a good story. It was interesting. Like, oh, like there's some tension with the relationship. What's going on? Who lied? Who did what? Da, 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 you know what I mean? So that was slow, but it was still kind of interesting to some extent. But I just wanted to see something crazy happen. You know what I mean? Whew, that one was a good one. I still gave it, I think I gave it a 4.5 or 4.75 stars. I almost gave it a 5 stars, but I'm like, no, it was too slow. So I think I might not be the best slow burn psychological thriller unless it's something like constantly happening to some extent. That makes it like, if the storyline is good, the characters, like stuff that's happening with them is good. Like, ooh, and Never Lie. Now if we think about Never Lie, can't Never Lie be technically was it a slow burn? I don't think it was a slow burn. I'm not sure. It has some slow moments, I will say. That was kind of like, okay, like we're still in a situation, okay. But when stuff started popping off, it popped off, and that's still a 5 star to me. No, I hope that made sense. Okay, so our next one is The Last Flight by Julie Clark. 2 women, 2 flights, 1 last chance to disappear. So it seems like they switch lives at the airport. I'm curious to see what happens with that. I don't like to go into too much of what the story is about because I don't want anything to be ruined. I want to be like shocked and stuff like that. Our next book, The Drowning Woman by Robin Harding. Honestly, I was kind of creeped out by the book cover at first because I made me think about the ring. But I was like, okay, this is not about that. A woman, she is drowning, and I think another lady like helped save her, and Brie was like, it pops out from there. So I'm really curious about what's going to happen. What can go wrong? It's a dark, wild ride of redemption, betrayal, and friendship. So, girl, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's happening there. Maybe I should do a thriller reading vlog. Let me know if y'all would like that. Comment that down below because I feel like we might need that. Okay, so the next one that I have is The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. This one, I was kind of scared to get into because I think Lucinda Berry books, aren't they really, I don't know if they're scary or what they are. I don't think they're horror or anything. Girl, I don't know. It'd be some people talking about stuff on Book Talk. I never can keep up. This one says it's a page-turning debut of suspense about a young couple desperate to have a child of their own and the unsettling consequences of getting what they always wanted. Ooh, girl. Oh, it's an abandoned child. Ooh. Oh, this is about to get crazy. This is giving psych ward. The Last Mrs. Parrish. I can't remember who they compared Last Mrs. Parrish with. It wasn't Verity. See, this was a Reese Witherspoon book club pick. Now, I like Reese. Okay, I like her as an actress. But when I read Into the Woods, it's like if you've never read thrillers before. None at all. Okay, it's very much popcorn, slow burn thriller. I mean, it was slow and you knew. You knew. It was clear as day. At first, it tried to convince you that it was but then you knew. You know what I'm saying? Because something like that don't make sense. That don't make sense. And that don't make this makes perfect sense. So girl, it was no. I'm sorry. Like for me, it was a no. If y'all like Into the Woods by Ruth Ware, please let me know. A coolly manipulative woman and a wealthy golden couple. This is psychological suspense. Oh heck no. Nah. With shocking turns, dark secrets will keep you guessing until the very end. Girl, this look crazy. Oh, it's only 400 pages? Girl, that ain't nothing. Because girl, lately I feel like I've been reading nothing but 500 and 600 pages of stuff. That is all that I have on my Kindle as of right now. I'm probably gonna watch more of her videos to just see all the ones I haven't read that seem interesting and keep saving them and adding them to my either Kindle, or I'm going to add them to just like my list on my phone just to have. If they're already on book, I will let you guys know. But as of right now, I feel like that's good enough. I feel like having the 6 books from Throne of Glass series. Yeah, I have 7 books from the thrillers on my Kindle that I'm gonna. That's 13. 14, and then I have even 13. That's 14. Honestly, that seems about all I would probably read in those amount of months, especially with me studying for my MCAT. So yeah, so stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed the fall videos. We'll see y'all. Hopefully I stick to this. Y'all know me, I get very distracted and I'll just end up doing something completely different. So we hope I stick with it, right? Right, exactly. Thanks, babe. Make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys are gonna be reading this fall, and I'll see you guys in my next video.